Welcome to day 43 of our 52 days through Nehemiah. I'm Christy Birchfield. Today we're looking at Nehemiah chapter 10, verses 37 through 39. They say, "We will bring a loaf from our first batch of dough to the priests at the storerooms of the house of our God. We will also bring the first fruits of our grain offerings, of every fruit tree, of the new wine and oil. A tenth of our land's produce from our lands belongs to the Levites. For the Levites are to collect the 1/10 offering in all our agricultural towns. A priest of Aaronic descent must accompany the Levites when they collect the tenth, and the Levites must take a tenth of this offering to the storerooms of the treasury of the house of our God. For the Israelites and the Levites are to bring the contributions of grain, new wine, and oil to the storerooms where the articles of the sanctuary are kept and where the priests, gatekeepers, and singers serve. We will not neglect the house of our God." As we finish up kind of this chapter where we're seeing the Israelite people committing themselves to God, they're really lining out all the different commitments that they're making and all the different things that they're promising that they're going to do based upon their love and their desire to obey God. So with that, what we end up seeing here, this last little bit, they've already talked about themselves. They talked about their families, what they're going to do to change kind of everything within their own personal world. Now they're talking about how they're going to take care of the house of God. It's not enough just to say, okay, I'm going to transform my life, or I'm going to transform the things that I'm directly related to. Also, God has given ministry to several people, and the people in this day and time were responsible for taking care of the Levites, those people who were tasked with managing and upkeeping and ministering in God's house. And so the point here was that they were committing to taking care of God's house. And they say it in the very last sentence there, "We will not neglect the house of our God." So two things with this. First off, are we neglecting the house of our God? Part of being a believer in Jesus Christ is having the opportunity to meet together with other fellow believers in a church. And are we doing what God's commanded us to do to take care of that fellowship of believers? Are we working with them? Are we praying for them? Are we providing for them? Are we giving the tithes that God has commanded us to give to them? That's question number one. Question number two, since Jesus Christ lives in our heart at this point, based upon the relationship that Jesus allowed us the opportunity to have when he came and died on the cross, people have also said that the temple of God is in our hearts. So if you look at it from that perspective, what are we doing to take care of our bodies, our physical temple that God lives in? Are we eating correctly? Are we exercising? Are we doing the things that we know we should be doing in order to take care of ourselves physically? They made a commitment. They signed it. They sealed it. They recognized the curse and the oath that they were doing. All these things that we've studied for the last several days leading up to today, where they close out with their commitment to the house of God. How committed are we to the house of God? Do we understand what that means? And are we willing to commit ourselves to that? That's the question for today. Hope that you can take a few minutes and figure out, what else do I need to be doing differently to help with the house of God, to help push things through in the house of God? Do I need to be taking care of myself differently or better? Great questions for today. We've still got some days left, so we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.